Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 6 of the Shea podcast. This week, former Major League Baseball player Bruce Maxwell.
We have a very special guest, former Major League catcher Bruce Maxwell. What's up, Bruce? How's it going?
What's going on, fellas? Everything's all right, man. I appreciate the invite.
We really appreciate having you, bro. Thank you for your time. I know you're doing a lot still in baseball, which is awesome. So one thing, like from watching different podcasts and watching different shows, I know everybody's draft experience is very different.
Yeah.
So what was yours like that night, that draft night?
Man, mine was it was actually the morning. I was the first round of day 2. And honestly, man, what happened was like I had a little bit of my family over because I don't have like a really large family. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I'm not very close with my cousins and uncles and stuff like that. Didn't grow up around them either on both sides of my family. But we were at the house, man, and like I was sitting on, so I had done a pre-draft workout with the Angels, right? I did it with the Angels, Kansas City, and the Twins, right? Angels loved me. They were like, hey, here's our thing. Our first pick of the draft is until the 4th round. We want to take you first if you're still there. Plus, I was like, all right, cool. So I'm sitting on the 4th, 5th round here, like the money, the slot, and everything. Cool. So day 1 rolls around, bro. I'm just chilling. Like we're just hanging out. Like I have no anticipation of turning this stuff on until midday, day 2 type situation. And so day 2 rolls around. I wake up like 15 minutes before the draft starts. Not a care in the world. Like I went in the kitchen, got some coffee with my dad. My dad's got so in 2012, it was the first year of the slot, the slotted prices, right? So my dad, money guy, he had all the slots for the top 10 rounds like laid out on the table, right? Because I did my negotiations. Yeah, my negotiation were easy to do by myself. And so I'm sitting there in the recliner, have a cup of coffee, boom, phone rings. I was like, hey, what's up, Kels? Like, my area scout for the A's. He was like, hey, listen, what you think about the second pick of this round? I was like, the one that's about to start. And he was like, yeah, second pick. This is your number plus the rest of your school. Or you could wait till we have another pick later in the round, but it's the same money. He goes, you being a college guy, I'm giving you the option to pick. And I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, like second pick, second pick, I'm Gucci. Like, let's go. Right. So I'm over here like, bro, what the hell is going on right now? All right. And I haven't talked to my A's guy. I haven't talked to Kelson damn near a month. Like, I haven't talked to the A's in a minute. And so I was like, yo, okay. 5 minutes later, Astros called me. They had the first pick of the second round. And they were like, hey, what's your bottom number? So I gave them 50 grand more than what the A's were going to give me. And they called me back. They're like, hey, it's not, you're not that for us. And I'm like, cool, I'm going next pick. Like, we're fine. And he calls me back again. And he was like, hey, you good to go? I'm like, hell yeah. So just go ahead and announce it, dog. Like, I'm good. I'm at the house. And so, it's on the internet, right? It's on the internet. So my dad's got it pulled up on the TV and stuff, and my mom's in there, sisters also. There's like, and for the second pick of the second round, the Oakland A's select catcher Bruce Maxwell from Birmingham Southern College. And it was like the most, like the people on the broadcast, dude, didn't even know what to say. They had nothing to say because I wasn't even listed. I think I was listed as a sleeper in the draft.
Okay.
But they didn't have a whole lot of information on me. And so it was hilarious, dude. My dad freaked out. My friends started calling me out the ass. I had news people pull up into my front yard like later that day. And so it was a pretty insane experience, man. Like it was awesome. I coming from Division 3, it's always a long shot. But I had a lot of interest during the year, so it was a very cool, calm, and collected like event with the family. My dad, barbecued after and kind of had some friends of the family over, so it was a pretty chill time, but it was pretty awesome.
That's awesome because I know, it's like you said, Division 3 is so hard. But so I know in today's world, there's so many player comps. Now, you were a catcher who hit left-handed,
Mhm.
so that's kind of tough to comp. Did you have anybody that they were comparing you to coming out of college or anything like that?
No, because this was the thing, man. Like they listed me as a catcher, but I was an infielder in college.
Okay.
So my junior year rolled around and my coaches asked me to catch like majority of the time, and I'd never caught before, man. Like I never could do it. And so the beginning of the year, most of the year, dude, I was a pick and throw kind of guy because what happened was my junior year, majority of our team was underclassmen. So I think there was only like 5 of us juniors and like 2 seniors, maybe. And then the rest of our team, because we lost a ton of people my freshman and sophomore year. Like our sophomore year, the seniors that left, dude, there was like 16 of them. And so we had to bring in a really big freshman class my junior year. We brought in a lot. So they actually asked me and they worked with me, but they asked me to do it because we needed leadership behind the plate. And so I was really rough around the edges. By the time towards the end of the season, I got better, but I still had I had no idea like what I was doing, honestly. And so when they drafted me and converted me, bro, that was insane. That was the roughest like first 2 years of my life.
No, that's definitely a big challenge, especially being behind the plate. I mean, being the field general, calling the game, pitch to pitch, and not having all that experience there, especially going from making that jump from Division III ball to pro ball. I mean, that has to be quite the task.
Oh, dude, it was hell, bro. My first rookie ball game, I had I had 25 drop baseballs and I missed 2 pop ups by at least 40 feet. Like it was yeah, it was insane, bro. Like I had to learn the position, like just my stance, the proper positioning. I had to learn legitimately. I had to learn the proper way to catch the ball with a mitt. Like it was completely foreign. Like the game calling I was pretty decent at because I had learned the game at such a young age and my dad like, back in our day like we actually learned the fundamentals of the game. And so it wasn't that hard for me to understand and to apply. It did take me a little while getting used to the scouting report part of things, but it's not like I didn't have it in D3, but it was obviously more extensive in Pro Bowl. But dude, just literally the basic bare minimum, like the speed of the game, being able to block quicker. Like, dude, it was like I almost quit like 15 times in like first 2 years. Like, and it was so stressful, and they kept throwing me out there, and finally, like I got to the point where I was starting to get comfortable, and I was like, okay, I could do this. I could do this. Okay, this isn't terrible, not anymore, but it was.
It's crazy because at that position, at that level, with the guys and the way they throw, one thing we always heard, especially being in New York, everybody always ripped on Gary Sanchez. One thing now, I didn't obviously get to the level that you did, but he for a guy like Sanchez, who's not known for defense to begin with, to catch a bullpen at that time that had guys like Chapman coming in throwing 101. You know better than anybody. They miss their spot. You're not catching that ball.
You're cooked.
That's it. It's over.
Well, and that's the thing, man. Like up there, everything, especially in today's game. Like if you have a guy that's all over the place, it's not 88 all over the place.
Right.
It's 97, it's 98, it's 100, dude, it's hard but also like. And I was actually just talking to one of my kids about this today. Because he was like, "How does 100 look?" I was like, "When we see it every day, it looks normal." I said, "But if you stepped in the box and saw 100, you wouldn't even see the baseball." I said, so it's relative. You know what I'm saying? They used to give. I love Gary. The dude's awesome. I played with him in the Dominican one year. Awesome guy, right? He used to get drilled by Yankees fans and New Yorkers because it looked like he was just lazy. It wasn't because he wasn't capable. It looked like perception wise, it looked like he was lazy. He could care less about catching. And at the time that he was getting all that grief, they weren't doing so hot either. So
Right.
it's all relative. Like if their pitching staff had been doing a good job, obviously the better our pitchers do, like the easier our job is. But like you guys, they were also weren't doing very well at that time. So it made it even a bigger deal because Gary wasn't hitting 330 with 50.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He was
It was
kind
a
of the easy
struggle on
target
both
in
ends.
that situation.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say was I'm interested in your upbringing through the minor league system, and then obviously you're spending your time with the Oakland A's. A lot of people and everybody around the league always talks about the culture of baseball in the Bay Area, especially in Oakland. And I just wanted to get your perspective and your thoughts on one, what was it like playing in Oakland? And then two, do you feel that the move from Oakland to Las Vegas is a positive one for the fan base, or is it something that we're going to start to see the A's fan base start to diminish because of the move to Las Vegas?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I loved my time in Oakland. Got some good friends to this day that I met in the minor league system that followed us. I've grown fond of quite a few people and fans that are now kind of like family to me in the Oakland world. I do stuff over there with the Ballers every once a year or twice a year. I still got friends out in Stockton. I still keep in touch with my people up in the Bay Area, man, and they treated me like family. Coming from not being able to ever play near home was something that it wasn't hard for me, but I wish it could have obviously been different. It would have been awesome, obviously, if we could pick and choose who we get drafted by. I would have loved to get drafted by the Braves, because, two of their minor league teams are in Georgia as well as the big league team, right? Just so my family could see. But at the same time, the A's from the time I came in, man, and I came in with Matt Olson, Addison Russell, Daniel Robertson, Max Muncy, BJ Boyd, and then obviously the next year, we got Chapman and Ryan Healy and Chad Pinder, right? I was surrounded, even though I was a second rounder, I was surrounded by a whole lot of like hype. And so it would have been easy for me to get kind of lost in the group. But the Oakland A's fans do. They treated me like a human. They respected the hell out of me. And they respected my family, which was a big one for me. And so I owe those that community. I owe them everything because they made it feel like home for me, which in reality, like I don't come from a state where we have professional sports. You know what I'm saying? So I never got to really experience that type of feeling where I get to play for like my hometown team or coming up in Chicago or something or New York, like when you guys got the Yankees and the Mets. Never got that experience. So it was awesome for me and those people in Oakland, man, they got all the love and support for me to the day I pass away. And so moving forward, the move I feel for the fans, there's not a positive thing that Fisher has done for the fans. And that was the last staple of the Oakland A's community. The Oakland community. Some of the best things and best players to come through the game wore green and gold and got to play in that Coliseum. And it's unfortunate and it's disheartening to see what's going on. Obviously I don't really too care about the Warriors, the Raiders being gone. I'm a Raiders fan. The Raiders being out, but to move the Oakland A's out of greed and just overall lack of showmanship and professionalism is kind of where I kind of draw the line on that. I mean, they have all the opportunity. They're worried about saving money and then moving somewhere where the population is a little more dense. But they're not going to get the same. They're not going to get the same type of love and support that they get from Oakland. Not at the OCO, bro. Like that Coliseum is so full of history and so full of love and heartbreak and pain and struggle and resilience, bro. Like there's nothing like playing in the Coliseum. And I've played in a couple different places. Like there's nothing like playing in the Coliseum, dude. And nothing like seeing the people that have been following you since A-ball that are wearing your jersey. Hey, just to let you know, I just talked to your mom. She wishes she was here. Like there's nothing that can replace that, dude. And those people, I feel for them from the bottom of my heart because that's like a second home for me.
It's crazy because, like Lou brought up the move, and a lot of people, mostly from this generation, the movie Moneyball became so big. But having lived through that time and remembering that team, there's two fan bases. I always say personally that when the owners spend the money and they give the fans a reason to show out, the A's and the Pirates fan bases are crazy
Nuts.
because during those runs in the early 2000s of that A's team, and then going back to a team like the Pirates, the fans are there. They just like to blame the fans, but like you said, some of these owners just don't want to spend the money to
I
give
mean,
the
think
fans
about
something
it.
to
Would
watch.
you consistently show up to not only a not well taken care of stadium, but every year of draft picks, every time one of our homegrown people get to the big leagues, they get traded,
Absolutely,
or
yeah.
they
We
or
see
they
that
or
all the
they get
time.
or they get let go. And then what
Yeah.
happens? You go get 5 players who maybe one of them might turn out to be something, right? And you constantly replenish your roster with a bunch of like middle of the pack people after giving away our superstars that we've molded and seen come through the system. I
Right.
mean, you were talking about the Donaldsons, the Matt Olson, Chapman, Loriano. Even though he didn't come up with us, he made a staple over there.
Mhm.
I mean, dude, Sean Murphy. Simeon's gone. I mean, and it's just like
And
as
you
a
could go
as a
back to the
fan
pitching
base,
too.
yeah. Well, as a fan base, and guess what? There's still seats out there rusting. They haven't done any type of renovations to the seats. They haven't done any type of renovations to the dugouts, the bullpens, the seat quality, just the overall aesthetic in the Coliseum hasn't been taken care of, bro. And guess what? We still had hella people that show up and support, but it's like when you're getting when in 2016, man, when I got called up, we were 175 games out of playoff contention already, right? And bro, we were getting and this is how bad it got. I remember in 16 where the Orioles came to play us, bro. They did their standing up that they do at Camden Yards. They were doing their standing O in the bottom of the ninth against us in Oakland, and they were louder than our guys, our people.
That's
Like
crazy.
when the Cubs came that year, because that was the year they won, right? When the Cubs came that year, over half of our stadium was blue.
So
And
it,
it,
you know, it's crazy you say that because as a fan, I always wonder, do you guys take notice of that?
hell
And I
yeah,
guess
especially
it
when you especially when you play in a football stadium, though. Like it's
right.
not that difficult, you know what I'm saying? And so, but it's like, bro, these people came from Chicago.
Yeah.
This is
Right.
Oakland. It's not like they came to Georgia. Like they came all the way to Oakland to come out here and embarrass us at our place, and we couldn't do anything about it, dude. Like 80% of the stadium was blue. Like
That's
and it's
crazy.
like we're at home. And so it's like, yeah, I understand the frustration from the fans. From the fact that they that parking's so high, that the tickets haven't gotten any cheaper. They actually go up when we played better teams, which don't make any type of sense. So everything that they do, they basically gouging the fans for a lesser experience than they've gotten when we were good. But they keep honestly increasing everything, but guess what? They get there, you got seats rotten, you got cobwebs everywhere, the food prices and drink prices are going through the roof. All these things and the amenities never change. And then on top of that, they come out here and spend hundreds of dollars before they even walk in the stadium. And then we got a bunch of average, like statistically, and also from a status situation, we got a bunch of guys that people ain't heard of for real.
Right.
And then guess what they do? They turn on the TV the next morning. You got Matt Olson hitting 2 homers for the Braves. You got Sean Murphy out here throwing 3 people out for the Braves. You got Chapman over here hitting homers for the Blue Jays. You got, this that, and the other, like, and it just keeps going. I'm like, bro, and they're like, hey, why are we going to keep supporting them when they don't even care enough about Oakland to keep players to be good? Because, bro, if you think about since 2000, I'd say since 2013, just a rough. If you think about the top guys that we had come through the system, if we would have kept half of them,
Yeah.
bro, we would have been deep in the playoffs for the most part. Because you
Absolutely.
got Sean and I over there pitching for the Mets.
Mhm.
You got Chaps now with Giants, Olson and Murph. Those dudes are over in Atlanta. Simeon's in Texas. I mean, bro, if you just keep half of those dudes from a pitching staff standpoint too, bro, we'd be competing.
It's
And
crazy because me and Lou, we joke around a lot, and after they traded Olson to the Braves and then Murphy, we were joking around and saying it's almost like the A's are like the farm system for the Braves. It's like anytime they get somebody like that, they just ship
Dude,
them
they're
to
the
Atlanta.
they're the farm system for the MLB.
mm,
Seriously, bro, that's a
yeah,
thing. They
and it
always
goes.
tell us, they always say that the A's are the farm system for everybody else. And they also say when they come to Oakland, we're the only team in the big leagues that's 4A. Seriously, bro.
Crazy.
Like it's
Yeah,
like
if
they
you think
never,
about it.
yeah, it's crazy, man. And like I said, dude, when you step on that field, bro, it's incredible. especially at night, man. You see the banners up there, the people, like it's incredible. It's an incredible feeling, bro, because you're playing in a stadium which one of the best surfaces in the game, if not the best surface. Some of the best green and gold colors out there. And then on top of that, you got diehard fans out there, bro. Ride or die. And they care, man, and it's just nothing beats it. Like I enjoyed playing in the Coliseum more than I enjoyed playing in Boston.
Oh, wow.
Seriously.
So I feel like that's a great segue to, of course, your big league debut on July 23rd in 2016. You got your call to the big leagues, and it was a night game versus the Rays. And just take us a little bit through that day, and what were your nerves like? What was the preparation like for that day once you knew that you were going to get the call?
That day was hell, first of all. So it had happened. So we were in AAA. I was in AAA. We had gotten, you guys remember around that time that big Delta outage for like 3 days? Like Delta was, okay. So we were actually in AAA. We played in El Paso and Albuquerque, and we were coming home from Albuquerque. We ended up getting stuck in Phoenix. The day of our off day, we got stuck in Phoenix. We had to mess around and charter a plane back to Nashville. We show up back in Nashville at like 7 o'clock. Our game was supposed to be at 7:30 that night. Like, so they were like, hey, we were all rushing, panicking, like, hey, go to the field, we'll bring all the equipment, da da da. And so I told my manager, hey, I didn't catch the last game at Albuquerque. I'll catch this game, no big deal. He was like, cool. He gets to the field. I'm starting to get my prep going, like whatever. He's like, Bruce, you're not catching. And I was pissed. I was like, after all this, the traveling we're doing, all these things, like, I was like, what do you mean I'm not catching? Like, he was like, come to my office. So we were talking, and I was like, hey, what do you mean I'm not catching? I was like, I'm our starting catcher. Like, I told you I was good. Like, what happened? Like, why am I not catching? He was like, you can't catch tonight. I was like, what the hell do you mean, Ryan? Like, why can't I catch? I'm fine. He's like, you can't catch tonight because you're catching tomorrow in the big leagues. And I was like, I don't care about the big leagues. I was like, what do you mean I'm catching in the big leagues tomorrow? He goes, you got a flight out tomorrow. Good luck. And I was
That's
like,
crazy.
I was like, see, you could have just said that, right? He was like, sorry, I had to have some fun with it. And so my part of my family was at the game, so I told them. And then the next day I had a flight out. It was actually a pretty crazy day because I flew out from Nashville. I flew from Nashville to LAX to SFO, right? So when I get to LAX, I'm on the phone with my mom and I'm like, hey, because you know how moms are. Like, I'm like, hey, I landed at LAX, like walking to my gate, right? As I'm on the phone with my mom, I get to my gate. My dad and my stepmom are sitting there,
Oh, wow.
right? They had no idea. They had no idea my flight schedule, right? All three of us ended up sitting next to each other on the flight to San Francisco.
That's
crazy.
awesome.
It was literally my dad was sitting right next to me.
That's awesome.
Like, and had no idea, right? So that was already crazy. And then I landed at like 1:30 maybe, got a car, went over to the stadium, and the first thing I did when I walked in after talking about Melvin was I went and gave Coco Crisp a hug. Because back in like 2014, I told Coco, I'm going to play with you before you retire. Because Coco's like my big brother. And he was like, all right, bet. And so when I got in there, I gave him a hug, said what's up to my guys. Because I knew all the guys, obviously. I was in big league camp every year. And it was just awesome, bro. Walking out for BP, adrenaline going. I'm like, I'm here. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And that night was awful. It was like I pinched hit that night late in the game because we were getting beat pretty bad. And I struck out, I think, on 3 pitches. And I felt like my bat speed was 197 miles an hour. Like I was like, oh, I'm seeing it. And it was just like swing and miss, swing and miss, swing and miss, go see you. Like,
Remember who you
and
faced?
then,
Do you remember who you faced?
no, I did the next day though. I got my start against Snell.
Wow.
Okay.
So that day game, that Sunday day game, I started that game and I had Blake Snell. So
Lefty is not easy.
you can imagine how that went. However you think it went, that's exactly how it went. But we did up winning that game. So I got the ball from winning my first start behind the plate. I have that ball here at the house.
That's awesome.
And so that was a really good feeling, like being able to win my first game behind the dish, and then it's history after that.
That's awesome, man. So you mentioned something before that, like in today's world, we hear so much of, and I don't know if it's because being Met fans, we hear so much about the culture and the family atmosphere. And I don't know if you talk to anybody within the Mets organization, but they seem to like Juan Soto, somebody like Juan Soto even mentioned that the family atmosphere was such a driving force in bringing him here. We heard it from like AJ Minter and guys like that. And so when what's the difference? What do they mean by that with the owners, and how does something like that? So I didn't realize it was so important to guys, even like Juan Soto.
Well, it's important because, well, first of all, let me preface it like this: when you're a dude, like a guy like that, and you're a priority, yes, it matters a whole hell of a lot. Because when you get to that point of making that type of money and signing some type of like Lindor money, Otani money, this, that, and the other, like it's very important that you feel like your owner, your upper management are not only there for you, but what comes along with you. So being able to make sure his family is safe, make sure they can accommodate him any way he needs to, be welcoming behind that. Because one thing you don't want to do, and I don't have kids myself, but what you don't want to do is feel like you're literally just there to play baseball and nobody really gives a shit about your family or your existence outside of uniform. Especially when you're talking about a long-term situation like the Soto deal, you know. And so that's a big door deal, especially with your Latin players. Though it's a really big deal because they're very family oriented. And so this game of baseball, man. When you get to the professional level, it's very selfish. Like until you get to the big leagues, man, it's really about your individual development and success to get you there. And so that team winning atmosphere, being a part of the New York culture, being a part of the Mets culture, being welcoming to that culture is very, very important. But also, like I said, I feel like there's also levels to it. You get what I'm saying? You're a $760 million player, dog. Like if they're not welcoming you and you don't get a family vibe, we got issues. Like and so there's levels to it, you know. I think Oakland, then I've played a lot of different places. I think Oakland just authentically, I think they have a better fan base. A lot like Cubs people, like a lot like I never had any issues with the Mets fans. Like people welcomed me. I've talked to multiple people like on stuff like this, Mets fans and stuff. And I have never had an issue with anybody. Like I don't, you know, as long as you know you treat me with respect, I'll love you to death. Like it's not that big of a deal. But I think Oakland has probably one of the most authentic, like 100% guaranteed welcome mat, for lack of a better word, to anybody that puts on the green and gold. Because it's like as soon as you walk in that locker room, you're family to them. They don't care what you did before, who you are. They don't everything that comes with you, your family. And that was like the authenticity that I felt in Oakland that I really haven't seen anywhere else, especially when it comes to like I was on rookie contract, dude. Like I didn't know people knew me like that. Right? It's people out here texting my mom during the game, like, your boy looks good on the field, send her a photo, you know what I'm saying? I ain't never been a part of nothing like that. So that was huge for me, and I saw it with everybody. Like the Ace fans were super nice to everyone that was nice to them, that respected the jersey. And so I just think in the other organizations, especially the big money organizations, there's levels to that family orientation because it's kind of, you know, you want your star players to be comfortable. You want them to not have to worry about anything but hitting the baseball. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it
So
makes sense.
Absolutely. So, when speaking about the culture, and then you spoke about how the Latin community is such a strong community in baseball, we mentioned earlier that you had the opportunity to play overseas and play for the team representing Germany in the World Baseball Classic. What was your experience when playing in the World Baseball Classic, and what did you take out of that experience that helped you later on in the pros?
I mean, I loved it. First of all, I originally didn't know I could play for them, because I thought I had a citizenship, like a military pardon kind of situation going on. But it felt good the first time. The first time I played for them, we were in Mexico, in Mexicali playing, and it was awesome, dude. Because I knew I'd never play for the America. Just being honest. Um, it's not really that hard to figure it out. But to be able to be a part of a a country, and see everybody from different walks of life putting on the same jersey and you legitimately playing for the front of your jersey. It was an awesome, awesome experience, bro. And I still talk to those guys to this day.
That's all.
And it's awesome, man. Being able to go over and play in Germany this last one, not the one just finished, but the one before that. That was pretty awesome because we played in Germany, which is the first time I think we've done a qualifier over there in a while. And they came closer this time to qualifying, but we weren't very good, dude. We got beat, the two times I was there. But dude, I had a blast. Like that was a kind of goes to show that I'm not very successful playing when I'm having fun. It's just kind of how I am. I'm very serious when I play, but it was almost impossible for me not to have fun doing those things over there because nobody cared I was a big leaguer. Like nobody
Right.
cared I was a second rounder. It was like, yo, you're here to help us win. Like, so go do your job. And everybody was behind each other. There was no issues. There was no language barrier because all of them speak English. I mean, it was just a great, great time. And even playing in other countries, dude. I played in the Dominican, Mexico, summer and winter. It's just it's less business and it's more about winning, I think, in other countries because they don't run it like we run it here. It's like it's big, but there's not as much money is put into it as it is here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Best play. It's the best baseball in the world.
Yeah.
There's a
Literally.
reason why everybody comes here to try and play in the big leagues. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like the awesome thing is like we have a melting pot of cultures and stuff when you get to the pro ball and big leagues, and it's the highest level there is. You know what I'm saying? But when you go to like Dominican, dude, that's nuts. It's like from game one though. Like it's shit talking, it's passion, it's cheerleaders, it's fans, like and they're in it, bro. And they there's a reason, honestly, there's a reason why when you get closer to the playoffs, like in the Dominican, all the big league Dominican guys start coming to play. Because it's a pride thing. You get what I'm saying? Like they take so much pride in that, dude. It's like if you ain't Dominican dog, you ain't playing. Like everybody coming out. Cano, Tatis, like David Ortiz played in it. They coming.
Those games
Yeah,
look
you are
absolutely electric. It looks crazy
just
on
nuts.
TV. I can't imagine what the stadiums are like.
Yeah, they're insane, absolutely insane. And so, but being a part of that culture, man, it just makes me appreciate. It made me appreciate baseball a little more. And I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. When I came back to play for the Mets, I had to like readjust my brain a little bit. Um, because especially during COVID. And
Right.
I was like, bro, this is so boring. Like, I don't remember baseball being like this. But obviously, you have COVID too. But it was like, because I had just got done in summer the year before in Mexico. And, bro, we ended up winning a championship down in Mexico that
Oh,
year.
wow.
But, bro, the playoffs, bro, it was ridiculous. We went to
You
three
went
game
from like
sevens.
to the
Yeah,
Nets.
we went to 3 game sevens, dog. We won at home. There was not a seat. There was not a person sitting. And I mean, people in Mexico and stuff, bro, they bring horns, drums, you name it, bro. It's all loud, right? And it was just crazy. It was absolutely crazy, like to be a part of that. But when I came back, it was just like, damn, this stuff is like really a business, like in America, like
Yeah.
especially when you're in the minor leagues. Like nobody really cares about winning till you get to the big leagues, bro. Like, and it's not a hey, let's put on for the front. It's like well, let's put on as professional baseball players. Like you go to these other countries, bro. They putting on for their people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because then that's the difference. But that's the part I love, dog. I love being a part of that stuff.
Yeah, those games look electric. So the very last question I have, Bruce, and then if Vinny might have one more to wrap it up. As you can see, as my Instagram name, I'm a huge sports card collector. I've been in the hobby for a very long time, and being a collector of Bowman, what was it like to finally, go through the system and the draft process and having the opportunity to have your own autograph and your own first Bowman rookie card?
It was sick. Like
Yeah.
I actually, funny story that you bring that up. So I have a buddy of mine I met a long time ago. I mean, we keep in touch and everything. He has spent years buying every edition of every card, at least one of them, that I've ever
That's
had.
awesome. That's crazy.
And he had told my mom like 2 years ago. He said, when your son retires, I'm gonna put all of them in a box and send them home to you so he can show his future kids and his niece and nephew.
That's awesome.
And my mom was like, "Yeah, fuck, whatever." Bro, was it last year? Yeah, last year. I got a box. He had texted me. He was like, "Yo, check the mail tomorrow." I was like, "Whatever, dog. Appreciate you." Bro, he sent me like a 8 pound box. I've got a whole box in my storage unit out here that's got every edition of every card I've ever signed. Like, and it's and to be able, well, and to be able to like, especially since I've been playing out the country for so long, it's like being able to like open that box and I laid him out on my bed and I was just kind of staring at him like, bro, that's me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have the first MLB The Show game that I was in. I think it was in 17, maybe, because they do it obviously the year after. I have that in a case, just the case in my room. I never played it, right? But it was because even though I'm a rank like 62 in there,
Listen,
like
you're in the game, man. That's
I'm in
all.
a video game, bro. Like,
You made it.
and so all those amenities that came with it, they were kind of surreal for me because, like I said, we don't really come from. I'm not from a baseball town, and so for me, those little things were kind of kept it going because other people, and other people have my cards. Might be $5, might be $2, but dog, I
Doesn't
got my
matter.
own card. Yeah, like I
Yeah,
got my own
yeah,
card. Like you can't take that away from me, right? Like,
of course.
so it was a pretty awesome feeling.
Vin, we gotta find the super fractor.
Yeah, we gotta.
We
It
gotta
gotta
find
be
the
the
Transformer
super,
super.
the 1 of 1. He
Oh,
might
dude,
have it.
I think I have it.
Oh,
There
wow,
you go. You can't even
that's
Bro,
find it.
awesome.
I'm not that damn popular. People are fighting over my 1-of-1, man.
No,
Like,
but just listen. If Vinny and I have been in the hobby for a long time. If we do happen to see it, it's coming to you.
Oh,
yeah, I'm pretty sure because I have a couple like 1-of-5s, 1-of-10s in that package he sent me, but
Okay,
I'm pretty sure I have like 2 1-of-1s in that stack because
that's
when
so
I
cool.
saw him, I was like, "Yo, he like I know it ain't hard to find, but like,
Yeah, yeah,
how do you get this, dog? Like, I don't even remember signing this. Like what? It's pretty
that's
crazy to
awesome.
think about, man.
That's
I
really
only
cool.
have one. I only own one of one, and it's Jet Williams. So hopefully he makes it up one day because that it was pretty cool getting him to sign it in Brooklyn.
Yeah. I remember playing in rookie ball, dog, in Brooklyn. That was nuts.
We
Absolutely nuts.
love going there. I think that for us, like it's like a 20-minute drive, 25-minute drive. Go to Nathan's after the game and hang out in Coney Island.
Bro, that's what we did. And our whole team would, because we would take the subway back to the hotel.
Mhm.
So literally, we would all full team backpacks, Nathan's subway.
Yeah.
Like it was awesome.
All right, so I got one more question. I want you to make a prediction for me. Since you
What you got?
got some boys in Atlanta, I know
Mhm.
that, and us being Met fans, how do you see the NL East playing out this year? I know you got some boys on the Mets too, though, right?
You
talked
could be
to
honest.
Naya
You
and
could
those
be
guys?
honest.
Because remind me, because I'm not all the way savvy with all the divisions, but it's the Mets, Atlanta, and who?
Phillies,
Yeah, Vin.
Marlins, and Nationals.
I got. Ooh, that's a good one. I think if the Braves stay healthy, I think they'll take the division. Obviously, I don't think the Phillies are going to be far removed from that. I think one of the biggest things that the Mets face is obviously being able to deliver, but also being healthy. Every year, like you got polar bear back. Unfortunate situation to bring him back, so people aren't overly happy that he's back. But he also hasn't been playing very well. He's been hurt. Alvarez is banged up right now, and without him behind the dish, kind of iffy, over the years, the injuries, and then also just overall, just not being able to deliver when it mattered most. Because the thing is, I think the thing is with the East, the NL East, man, is like every team outside of the Marlins has so much more playoff experience than the Mets. So it's like when it comes down to crunch time, even as much money as they have on that team, they're inexperienced. Like Lindor has experience in it, like because with the Indians. But it's like for the most part, as a team, most of them that have been with the Mets, bro, the furthest they got was a wild card loss. You know what I'm saying? And so it's hard to it was, and it's just it's kind of the same thing, same situation in 18 with the A's, like in 12 with the A's, right? They lose in a wild card series because they're out here playing the damn Yankees. They're out here playing Detroit. They're out here, and you're out here playing Kansas City, who's in the playoffs every year. The Mets culture, they're a lot like the A's. They're kind of used to being disappointed, but at the same time, it's not because the Mets haven't had the players. It's just because they haven't come through when they needed to, and they just kind of folded. So I think with bringing Juan, and I love that dude to death. He's awesome. I think bringing him and putting him next to Lindor, bro. I think they have the opportunity to really shake some shit up this year. Um, as long, like I said, as long as they stay healthy, I'm still baffled. I got my own take on the whole Juan Soto contract thing, but I'm just baffled by the because I don't think there's a person in baseball that should be making more money than Ohtani. It's just my 2 cents.
I
Like
agree.
so, and dude, we've had so many discussions about this.
I think Otani's contract is insane. I think the way that a team like the Dodgers in such a big market, now it's a perfect example about how you talked about the A's. If the Dodgers are going to start deferring 96% of a contract like that, how is a team like the A's supposed to ever compete?
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
ridiculous.
Yeah. And so I mean, we had a conversation about this, and I'm not trying to hurt y'all feelings or anything, but it was like we were talking about this Juan Soto thing, and I told him, I said it's crazy that he's the highest paid baseball player in Major League Baseball, and he's getting paid that type of money to be the second best player on the Mets. And they were like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Bro, Lindor's the team captain of that team." I said he hits both sides of the plate. He's got playoff experience. He's a leader. He swings it. He's a captain of the field. I was like, that dude, as long as he's not going to be the second best player on the team. I said, because in recent years, Juan Soto's ability to play the outfield has been below average. He's got an average arm at best. He's a terrible base runner. And so if he don't hit a double or a homer, he's a liability. And guess what? He struggled playing right field in New York, and it's like 250 to right. Like guess what? The Mets got that awkward point out there in
Cutout.
right field. And
Yeah.
guess what? It's huge. Like that field's huge. So it's like he's got chain link out there. He's got a little crinkle in the fence. Like it's gonna be hard for him to adjust to that because he struggles he makes everything hard. Like he makes everything look hard. And I don't know if it's a depth perception thing. I don't know if it's I think personally because Juan Soto's what, 26
Yeah.
ish, something like that. God, that makes me feel like I haven't done anything with my life.
Me
But
either,
he's
bro.
20.
I'm like,
He's 20. He's
you did a lot more
26.
than us.
Yeah, he's 26. I will say that if he stays good and well by 29, he'll be a DH.
I mean, listen, if as long as he brings the Mets a championship and contributes to that, because it's been a long time suffering for fans like us, man.
Just give me
It's
one,
been
Like
rough.
bro.
I
That's all I
think
care about.
yeah, I think in the next 2 years, maybe three, he'll just be a DH because he's average at best outside of the batter spot.
Yeah.
Like they're going to get an outfielder.
Oh yeah.
Like they're going to get another outfielder, and they're going to put his ass at the DH and just let him hit 330 with 40 every year.
I'll
Well,
sign the. I'll
I'll make copies and sign the contract. Like that's what I'm saying because they're paying. That's exactly what they're paying him to do. Though.
yeah.
Like they're not paying him to be Griffey. They're paying him to hit.
We talked about this when he signed the contract that we knew at some whatever the number ended up being that he was going to be overpaid, but I think this was the first time that Steve Cohen got to really flex his wallet on of the biggest free agent, and the fact that the other team was the Yankees. I think Steve Cohen told his guys, I don't care what it takes.
Yep. It's
You
exactly
tell
what
me
he
a number, and whatever Juan wants, that's what we're going to get to.
It's exactly what he do.
So
Because
I think that was
Cohen's gonna make that money tenfold in jersey sales and seats.
Yeah.
right.
Like he'll make half of that back in 3 years.
It's
Like just
crazy.
from the
No,
merchandising, from the marketing, from the bro. That
it's
dude will make that
unbelievable
shit.
because
And like I mean, like you said, look at what they.
you got the Braves winning the division. The
I got
Mets in
Braves winning the division, and you guys in Philly duking it out.
All right. Listen, I'll
Like
take it.
because
yeah,
I'll take it.
I think, and I don't keep up with all this stuff, obviously, like you guys do, because I haven't gotten to the point where I can actually just watch baseball and enjoy it anymore. I still analyze it. But I think that if you guys as pitchers, your guys as starters stay healthy, I think you guys come in second place. because one of the biggest things the Mets have been battling over the years is injured pitchers. I think as long as you guys stay healthy, especially on the pitching staff side, you guys got a really good shot. Like you guys really do. And it's the same thing with the Braves. Like their injuries have really messed them up, right? And so like the Dodgers, man, like
Yeah, I don't
They're a
think
different
it's.
animal
I
right
got some
now.
boys over there, but dude, they got like a starting 13-man rotation.
Yeah, it's crazy. So you know how you said the A's are the farm system for the MLB? It's like Japan is the farm system for the Dodgers.
Essentially,
It's crazy.
well, that conversation though is crazy to me because people are like, "Oh my God, don't they know there's other teams?" I was like, "Bro, we're talking about Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would you go to a team where you have no Japanese players
Right.
when they got three of them,
Right.
and y'all are all homies,
And three of the best ones.
Yeah.
and you
they're
guys are all
much bigger
homies
than
though.
Otani.
Well, and you guys are all friends.
Right.
Like, this ain't going from playing in Georgia and playing in California, dog. Like we're talking about these dudes don't speak English. Like they have and their culture's completely different. I'd go to the team where my homies are at too. Like that way you have some comfort from home, bro. Like this ain't like Dominicans. Like guess what? You got them on every team.
Right.
Like so, like and everybody's like, oh, there's more teams than the Dodgers. I was like, yeah, but the Dodgers are doing shit right,
Mm-hmm.
and they got the bankroll because all they had to do was sign one of them, and they
Right,
got
that's
three
it.
of them.
Yeah.
Like they willing to spend it to win because when they win, they make it back. Like it's not it's that's if you're not in the business and professional sports, dude, to win championships, you shouldn't be allowed to own teams. And that was the thing we said about Oakland. Like they have no intention of trying to win.
Mm-hmm.
Like none. Like dude, they just gypped Ty Law. That's 7 years, 66 million, bro. That dude's worth way more than that, and they got a steal for that, right? But that's what they do, dog.
Very
Like
true.
No,
I'm trying to hear what's going to happen when they go to Vegas because a AAA team in Vegas. So what are they going to do? Play down the street from each other?
I'm going to say whether he'll play next door.
Like, are you guys are they moving or like they just got there, brand new stadium and everything, and so it's like, are they moving? Or are we you just gonna call people up and just gonna walk to the field? Like, how's that work? Like, so that's gonna be interesting. But I will tell you this: I do see their fan base diminishing,
right.
like especially in person because of just the overall pain and discomfort that move was and how it just disrespected the Oakland community feels. But I guarantee you, they will super rally around the Ballers, the indie ball team up there.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, those crowds are nuts. Seriously, we went to a few games and they're sold out every game. Like it's awesome to see. It really is.
It's a shame to see a team with the history like they have to move and like rip them from the fan base. But we're just coming to the end of the show. Bruce, I want to thank you so much for joining us, man. We
Yes, sir.
appreciate your time. And we'll definitely keep in contact. I appreciate everything you've been doing for us.
Thank you so much,
I know
Bruce. Thank you so much.
I know Lou likes to end it with like he likes to give the mic to our guests. So Lou, if you want to take over, go ahead.
Sure. So, like Bruce, like Vinny said, thank you so much for coming on this evening. Usually at the end of the show, we give our guests a minute or two to talk about whatever they have going on in their life. If you'd like to promote any pages or anything, please, the mic is yours. And then we'll wrap right after that. So, once again, thank you so much. And the floor is yours.
Oh yeah, man. Well, I appreciate the invite, dude. Like I've never had a bad conversation with any of my people in New York. I love being on these things, but just because the casual conversation, I am a very normal person and I like to be that way. And so I appreciate the invite and you guys being humble enough to invite me and show me hospitality, man. It means a lot. I don't have anything honestly at this moment in time to promote. Be on the lookout for me for college next year though. I'm trying to get into coaching, trying to get into the right now I'm really focused on the HBCU world. I'd like to go back and teach. I help out at the school here, Alabama A&M HBCU program here in town. I help out with those guys because I feel like I have a lot of information and teaching that I can share. But just like how the Dominicans go home and take care of their own kind. I would love to be able to spread my knowledge as a biracial Southern boy and go to these HBCU programs and help them learn from a former big leaguer that looks like them, that understands where they come from, how to win, and how to be a better young man. So that be on the lookout for me being in a college coach's uniform next fall. But other than that, man, again, I appreciate you guys and always love rapping it with you guys up in New York, man. Nothing but love, and I've always received it, and I give it back to you as much as I can.
I appreciate that, man. I just want to wish you luck. Hopefully, next year we see you at the top step of a college.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. You never know. I might end up in a college up in New York, baby. You
All
never
right, Bruce.
know.
Thank you.
For
100%.
sure.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Bruce. Have a
All
great
right,
night.
guys.
Thank you.
You as well. All right, bro.